Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to start our second chapter, that is solving a biological problem. What actually is a biological problem? जिस तरह से हमारी सोसाइटी के अंदर हमारे इर्द गिर्द डिफरेंट डिजीज़ अराइज हो रही हैं, सो वी हैव टू फाइंड अ सोल्यूशन फॉर दोज डिजीज़. क्या रीज़न है इन डिजीज़ का और किस तरह से अराइज हुई हैं, व्हाट आर इट्स काजेज़, व्हाट आर इट्स सिम्टम्स, हाउ कैन वी सॉल्व इट. और फिर जब वो सारी चीज़ें फाइंड आउट हो जाती हैं, आफ्टर दैट इट कैन बी टेस्टेड और फाइनली उसका कोई ना कोई एक सोल्यूशन निकलता है. सो देयर इज़ अ होल प्रोसेस फॉर सॉल्विंग दैट स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लम. विल स्टडी अबाउट दैट कि किस तरह से डिजीज़ अराइज होती हैं और उनका क्या क्या होता है. सो फर्स्ट थिंग दैट व्हाट एक्चुअली द biological method is that the scientific method in which the biological problems are solved. कोई भी ऐसा मेथड जिसके अंदर हम किसी बायोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करते हैं, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड एज द बायोलॉजिकल मेथड. Then biological method has played an important role in the scientific research. Obviously it is playing an important role because all the problems that are arised can solve by following this step, this whole process of biological solving the biological problems. In the first thing, what happened is that we actually recognize that what is the biological problem, what sort of problem is arising. So there are some basic steps that were taken, that we started finding out the problem in the specific area where people are mostly affected by that. Then we take their bloods, there are different methods that we use. We will study it in detail in the further slides. The first thing we do is the observation. Obviously, to recognize a biological problem, we need that observation. So observation is what? The process of gathering information about the different events and processes in a careful, orderly way. Like we should be very careful about it, that if we are searching about a specific microorganism, so we must know that the other microorganisms are not affecting in that area. So it is made by our 5 senses, that is the vision, the hearing, smell, taste and touch. So we do the observation by using our 5 senses. Then the next thing is that information gathered from the observation is called as data. There are two main categories of the data, the quantitative data and the qualitative one. Quantitative data is that is expressed as the numbers obtained or counting or measuring. Like in the specific area, we are taking some specific people for the observation, for research. Then that is actually we find the number and we count them. And here we got the example that, for example, the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees centigrade. We check that after so many processes, we see that the 100 degrees centigrade is the boiling point for the water. So this is the quantity that is giving us the number. So what actually is the qualitative data is actually the descriptive and involved characteristic that can't be usually counted. That means the uncountable characteristics of the data is the qualitative data. Here we can say that boiling point of water is whatever that makes the water hot. The hotness of that water is the qualitative data of about the water. Moving further, the second thing is about the formulation of the hypothesis. Hypothesis is a proposed scientific explanation for a set of observations. Like we take some observations, and after those observations, scientifically we explain something about that disease or that our research, that is being called as the hypothesis. We can say that it is actually a suggested solution to the problem. We can test it many times, and sometimes written as if then statement. Like if it happens like this, then we can say that it might happen. Like I will tell you the example in the further slide. So the hypothesis, it should be a general statement, that it shouldn't be specified about that thing. It should be general. It should be a tentative idea, that you are not saying that it is exact idea, it is exact thing that I am saying. It is actually the tentative idea, and it should be kept as simple as possible. Like it is a simplified statement about our observation, that is called as the hypothesis. The deduction is taken after that. In the next step, the biologists draw deductions from the hypothesis. Deductions are the logical consequences of the hypothesis. Means after the hypothesis, we are getting some logic, and that is making the deduction. hypothesis is being, after deduction, due to the deduction, the hypothesis is being taken as the true and expected results. So generally, if hypothesis is true, then one should expect deductions, and if it is not true, we go back and perform some other observations. Then the experiment is taken. The most basic step of the biological method is experiment. Obviously, we take the observations, we see the hypothesis, and after that we have to perform some experiment that either our deductions or hypothesis of our observations are correct or not. The experiments, scientists come to know that which hypothesis is correct, and the correct hypothesis is accepted and other are rejected. So after that, we summarize the result. We're taking the quantitative data from experiments, we summarize all the data and then give the result, and these results are reported in the international laboratories, and which are considered as the essential part of the scientific method. Then after taking the results, these results are if they are right, and it becomes the theory. What is actually the theory? That the hypothesis that stand at the test of time are called as theories, and if a theory continues to be supported by experimental evidence, it becomes a law or principle. So how can we take an exam? The whole process, the recognition of biological problem. Before that, we see that there is a biological problem arises. We can see the observations by using our senses. Then after observations, we take it we find the hypothesis that according to our assumptions that this can be happen. Then after a hypothesis, the next thing is deduction. Experimental group and the control group, we divide it into two and then perform the experiments on that. Experimental group is that on which we are taking the experiments, and control group means the healthy persons. After the experiments, it can be divided into two main parts: data for the organization and data analysis. And data can be analyzed and how it can be organized. After that, the results will be summarized. If not proved, we go back to the hypothesis, and if proved, we report the results. Then after discussion and summarization, we give the theory, and after further testing, it can become the law or principle. So we are going to take some example we take the two examples, that either the malarial disease, or we see its symptoms and causes, or the rabies. But here we are going to talk about the malarial disease. The rabies and the malaria are considered as the most discussed diseases at that time. So about the observations of the malarial disease, we see that the malaria and the marshy areas have some relations. The people who are living near the marshy areas, we see that they are more suffering from the malaria, while the rest of the people don't have such malarial symptoms more. Then they find that quinine is an effective drug for treating malaria. As we study that there were a tree that is quinine, and after taking the bark of that tree, people get cured by that. So it can be considered as an effective drug for the treatment of malaria. Then drinking the water of marshes does not cause malaria. If marshes and malaria have some symptoms, have some linkage, then there must happen that drinking the water of that marshes can cause malaria, but it was not happening. Then they see that the plasmodium was seen in the blood of the malarial patients. So what happened? They make the hypothesis that plasmodium is the cause of malaria. This was the hypothesis given about the malaria, that because plasmodium is present in the malarial patients, that's why we say that plasmodium is the cause of malaria. Then deductions were made that scientists does not know that whether the hypothesis is correct or not, but they accept it may be true and make deductions. So what deduction can be made, as I told you in the previous slide, that if and then was used. So if plasmodium is the cause of malaria, as is saying in the hypothesis that plasmodium is the cause of malaria, so it is saying that if plasmodium is the cause of malaria, then all person ill with malaria should have plasmodium in their blood. Definitely, if it is cause of malaria, then every person should have the plasmodium in their blood. Then they performed the experiments on it. How they performed the experiments, that blood of the 100 malarial patients was examined, and same the blood of the 100 control group, means a healthy person, was also examined under the microscope, and they saying that malarial patients have the plasmodium while healthy persons don't have the plasmodium in their blood. So they summarize the result as, the result of the experiment showed that almost all malarial patient has plasmodium in their blood, while all healthy persons have no plasmodium in their blood. So the results prove that the hypothesis plasmodium is the cause of malaria is true. Then the scientists will summarize the result. Then how they report the result, that after summarizing the results of the malaria, the scientists report the results to the international laboratories, where they were tested, and they checked that either this whole process, that whatever they talked about, whatever they are giving the reductions, and after the experiment they are showing the results, either they are true or not. Then it becomes law and theory. The last step, when the hypothesis plasmodium is the cause of malaria is tested many times and never rejected, it will be a theory, and after that time theory will be changed into the law or principle. So the whole process, if we summarize it, it can be as that we make observation, then we ask different questions, and then we form it as a hypothesis, form a hypothesis that answers the questions. After that, we make a prediction based on the hypothesis. Whatever the hypothesis was, after asking different questions from the people, we come to know that we make a prediction about the hypothesis. Then we do an experiment to test the prediction, analyze the results. After analyzing the results, either the results will be correct or incorrect. If they are correct, then we report results. If they are incorrect, then we try the hypothesis again and perform the same things again. And after the incorrect results, and we also report the results of the incorrect results, and also report the results of the correct results, and then later on it becomes the law or theory. This was all about the biological problem, that how can we solve it, the biological problem, what are the methods of it, and how the scientists are performing their work. I hope everything be clear to you. Thank you.